Dick Pryor joins us tonight for the latest in his series of Oklahoma World War II stories. Dick.
World War II may very well be the most documented event in the history of the world. The Nazis had filmmakers recording their every move, and the United States had a dedicated group of photographers who captured the Allied war effort. In fact, a documentary such as The War would not be possible without the efforts of the combat cameraman.
Growing up in Carnegie, Oklahoma, Ned Hockman learned photography from his father. When he was drafted during World War II, Hockman saw himself as a pilot, but could not pass the eye exam. So he jumped at the chance to become a combat cameraman for the Army Air Corps. The Army sent Hockman into the China-Burma Theater, where he served in the 10th Combat Camera Unit.
Our assignment was to make combat coverage of all types of action of the Air Force. Now that included flying equipment over the hump from Assam to China and later on to Burma when we pushed the Japs out of North Burma. And then we would support the bombing missions. We had a great life because one day we were at one place and another day at another place, and we had all types of on the ground, in the air. We were able to write scripts and make a film if we wanted to make a film of interest, somebody that was doing something that should be covered and documented. And it was a very exciting life. It was a dangerous life.
Combat photographers did not get special treatment. They carried their equipment and a gun and faced danger just like any other soldier.
A lot of the film that we shot wasn't very good because it's very difficult. If you're trying to make coverage, well, you're alert and you're trying to, when you see something, and a lot of times if you're moving forward, either crawling or running, well, you run to a place to where you can get your shot. And at the same time, be behind a tree or a rock, or you try to protect yourself. Every combat mission had to be covered, and you had to cover it with the men in action doing their job, and also the planes attacking, and it was hard to get planes attacking your ship because they're a real speck, and then all they go past like this, and really a lot of times you can't get what you dream of or you'd like to get.
Hockman admits many combat photographs are staged. Not all. Hockman saw pain and death, but through his lens, not his eyes.
I've had people say, oh, you shouldn't be photographing that. Well, if you're a documentarian, that's your job. And you're supposed to photograph everything going on. And I don't remember ever looking with my eyes. I never looked at them. But I did take the camera up and I photographed them. And actually, when that happens, well, you're doing your job and you're really not paying any attention of what's going on around you.
Now, more than 60 years after the war, the world has combat cameramen like Ned Hockman to thank for preserving its history.
I looked at it as a great adventure, and thank God that I was in a profession for the Air Corps and the Air Force that was really great, because I was doing work that documented the action so that people today and people 100 or 1,000 years from now will know what went on.
Ned Hockman served as a combat cameraman during the Korean War and was an officer in the Air Force Reserves for 26 years. He rose to the rank of lieutenant colonel. Hockman photographed OU football for many years and produced syndicated sports programs such as the Bud Wilkinson Coaches Show. He was a longtime journalism professor at the University of Oklahoma and built the OU film department. For 27 years, he was host and instructor for the National Press Photographers Association Television News Workshop held at OU.
And he is a legend.
He is.
Great people are always influenced by somebody. Who was his idol?
That's interesting. He learned from his father. He was trained at the Hal Roach Studios in Culver City, California. He also worked with Frank Lloyd, the famous director who had been directing Clark Gable in Mutiny on the Bounty. And for a while, when he was at the First Motion Picture Unit, he served under a young captain by the name of Ronald Reagan.
Oh.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Dick.
You
Great
bet.
story.